and welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Legacies. It's Wednesday night. So tonight, our leading lady is going to talk to you about how to run a successful internet business from home. My name is Joy RUFFEN. I'm your host, your guide, and your messenger for all things that involve leading ladies who are about agents of change, female trailblazers, purpose-driven women, heart-centered leaders. Cannot leave out our cosmic healers. Some women in corporate world, some not. I don't know where all that noise is coming from. I hope it's not coming through. But tonight, our guest is Kelli Fusaro. I'm going to invite her over in just a second, and she's going to share with us a lot of her really good information about what entails starting your own business. So, leading ladies, let's invite her over. And Kelli, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm honored and delighted that you're here. And everyone, most everyone, wants to be involved in some type of internet business. So I thank you for coming to share with us. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Joy. It's my pleasure to be on your show tonight. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you know that I'm fascinated with your background. So I want to know pretty much, not so much the background, I could go on and on, but tell us a little bit about how that background led to what you're doing now and why you love what you're doing so much. Share that with us.
I will be in business almost 20 years, but I started as a teacher. I have a degree in music education. And when I got my degree in music and I actually got out there in the field and I started handing out those hand drums and the kids were whacking each other with them, I thought, I'm going to need to figure out here. So I started coming up with all kinds of business ideas, and most of them failed. And when I went through a divorce in 2005, I started the photo bake shop business, and that was a successful one. But prior to that, I had a lot of ideas that didn't work.
What I love about what you simply shared with us right here and now is that you had lots of failures before you finally found something that you really loved and that you enjoyed. So what was it about this photo bake shop? And we'll talk a wee bit more about how you do that now. But what was the key ingredient that led you to start off with the photo bake shop? I love the name, and yes. I know what you do, but how did that come about?
How that came about was I had a music website and I was selling picture cookies on that website. And the lady who was making the picture cookies for me called me one day and she said, I'm retiring. I want you to take this business over. And her name was Sally. I said, Sally, you have no idea. I don't bake. I'm terrible in the kitchen. I burn everything. I've never really had any kind of a food business. That was the one thing I said I would never do, is a food business. And she said, oh, you'll be great at this. Somehow she had confidence in me that I could learn this. And she pretty much taught me the business. And then I changed everything about it in the next year or two. But initially, she trained me on how to do the business, and right out of the gate, it was very successful.
I'm chuckling here because I find that fascinating, because if it were a bake, I love to bake, but if it were a business for me and had anything to do with cooking, I would be a complete disaster at it. And how you started out, that's interesting. But you said you started to change things around. What did you change around, and why were you, change is part of our everything. But what made you decide that you wanted to change things around? What motivated that? What was in that business that you saw, that you were aware of, that you knew needed to change for it to be successful for you?
Right. Well, first of all, I wasn't going to bake because I knew that was going to take so much time. And when you're in business, time is money. So you need to be efficient and do what you do best. And what I do best is interact with people and marketing. And so the baking, I assigned a professional bakery to do all the baking for us. And I changed the printing system. The type of printers that were used initially were time stealers, and I needed to create a more efficient, automated system. And that's what I did in the next few years.
Well, one of the things that fascinated me, first off, I know you from another arena that we're both involved with, but that you are involved with a lot of big name companies. So
Yes.
how did you, because that means that you had to initiate, get out, make the phone call, open the door, and get in. So tell us a little bit about how you marketed you to get to some of these big companies, and feel free to name them if that's allowed. I'm sure it
Okay.
is.
Yes. My first order was with George Lucasfilm.
Yes.
I didn't even believe that they were actually calling me because I literally just got everything set up in my house, and all of a sudden George Lucasfilm is calling a Star Wars anniversary celebration, and they ordered 1,000 Yoda cookies right off the bat.
I love it.
I
Yoda.
started working with Pandora Jewelry. We basically made cookies with their logo for
Oh.
our grand openings for years. And I worked with World Fuel and Disney. For Disney, I know I worked with them when they were reviving the Balto movie and for a couple other celebrations. And Citibank was another one that was one of our main accounts. So there were regular corporate orders, and then other corporations were finding us too. And most of the success initially was from search engine optimization through the website. I had someone help us with search engine optimization so that we would be found in keyword searches on Google.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Keywords, we find all of us in time that that's how you get out there. But even with the keywords, you probably had to initiate and open some of those doors yourself. Going in to meet them one-on-one, was there a lot of that, or was it predominantly phone calls and just marketing that way?
Most of the marketing was done through the internet. I did very little local selling. I was very busy. In fact, I just working part-time, and this is why I'm trying to, I created this system where we're working with women on the Business in a Box licensing program.
Uh-huh.
As I only worked a 4-day work week, and I was making 6 figures with this business because it's great profit margins with the cookies. And all of the marketing was done through the internet. I really didn't go on foot to any companies. That's an option that we help people to do that. We give them a marketing kit as part of our program so that they can do that. But mainly with social media and with search engine optimization, Google Shopping, all different platforms that are out there, it wasn't necessary for me to do that.
I love what you're sharing with us, because it all is contingent upon your business, but you're allowing us all to know what sometimes we know, but maybe we put on the back burner for numerous reasons. A key word research, engine optimization, that's really, really important. Once you narrow down what you're doing so that you can get the target audience. Now, you mentioned women, but I'm sure, is it predominantly women, or do you deal and work with men as well to start new businesses?
We're open to working with men, but all of our licensees are women so far, and they're between the ages of 40 and 58.
Now, how do you, Kelli, how do the women come to you? I know you're going to offer a free phone call for those women who are interested in starting a business, whatever type of business, to call you so that you can give guidance and direction in that way. But how do you initially get women? Is it predominantly word of mouth to call you, to connect with you, to contact you, to start and initiate a business of their own? How does that come about? How do you market to get people to come to you so that you can help them, support them in initiating a new business?
Right. Most of the time they find us through word of mouth, or I've posted on Facebook about the business and people share that.
Yes.
And we were interviewed with a company called theworkathomewoman.com.
Uh-huh.
An article, and a lot of people are finding us through that website because that's mostly women that are looking to start their own businesses, and there's just a lot of different opportunities there. And when they get to ours, if it's calling them to work at home and they always love to bake, it seems like that's a perfect fit. And then they contact us and we go from there.
Okay. Is it baking only, or do you help them to initiate other types of businesses?
Photo Bake Shop, they don't have to bake a cookie. We'll provide all the cookies for them. We provide the equipment. We can provide the cookies. Now, they can bake if they want to, because some women, this is where their heart is, and they love to do that. It's totally up to them. But if they're like me and they want to have the freedom of being their own boss and they want to work from home, but they don't want to bake, we'll provide the cookies. We provide all the equipment. And everything from the business cards to the graphic training. We have a simplified system for them that we take them through step by step. So in 30 days, they're ready to receive orders. And the best part is they get their own web page, which is a shopping cart.
Well, simple is good. Simple is always good. All of us, no matter if it's convoluted and complex, we don't want to be bothered. Nobody has time.
Exactly.
But let me ask you this. This is a really, because I'm sure you word of mouth and people come to you through the marketing system that you have and all of that. But what percentage of women who come to you and want to start the business, what's the number one reason maybe that they are not successful at it, or that don't complete the process and initiate starting the business? What do you find the number one reason for most of them might be? Because this is important for women, all of us, to know as well.
Yes, that's a great question. The thing we need to be aware of is that we all have circumstances every day of our lives. There are circumstances, whether it's with ourselves or with the people that we live with, in an extended family, whatever it is, always circumstances that, as much as we say we want to accomplish something in our lives and we say that's the most important thing, we can get so distracted so easily. Yes. And I find that this is the thing that takes women away from, and I have to, on purpose, bring myself back to that every day, because I can get distracted too, and I have to say, what is it that I said I'm committed to today? What are the results I'm committed to producing? And keep going back to that.
Well, Kelli, would that have a lot to do with being more focused on what you're doing? Does that come into play too, that there needs to be more of a focus on the end results of what you're aiming for? Does that play in at all?
That's part of it. And one thing that we do in our training, and this is the key, because initially the women come to us because they see something for themselves and their lives that is inspiring. They want to, they know where they are and they know where they want to be. And we're the bridge to get them from where they are to where they want to be. And they create a vision. For example, Sarah, who is our recent licensee, she's in Missouri near Branson. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we talked about, I was asking her, what is it about this business that's really calling you? Mm-hmm. She said, all the years growing up, I remember I have great memories of being with my grandmother in the kitchen and the favorite recipes that we made, and her personality. She was like a mother to me, and it was an old-fashioned kitchen that that we baked in. And she said she would just love to have that kind of image for Photo Bake Shop for herself every day, because she went from basically corporate nursing career for like 30 years to working from home in Photo Bake Shop. And this was what her dream is, to recreate that memory that she had with her grandmother. And so that was her commitment, and that's what we keep going back to. And so when we have conversations on the phone, we create that memory, and it just all of a sudden puts everything in focus for her, because it's so inspiring. Right. That's the kind of life she wants. That's the business she wants.
That ties in a different way, and that was my next question for you, because one of the things that you mentioned and you sent to me was the importance of perseverance. And the question that I had for you is, what do you think are the one, two, or three main ingredients or attributes that you must have to have success in life? You mentioned the importance of perseverance. What else do you think is vital there? You mentioned a little bit about that just now.
Listening is very important. You
Mm.
listen to what people are saying to you about yourself, about your products. Your customers will tell you a lot. They'll even tell you what your next product's going to be, because they'll say it would be really great if we had this other thing, you know, and then now you have a new opportunity to expand your line of products, because even when I operated this business for 10 years out of my home, like now I'm focused on the training with women,
Yeah.
but I operated this business full time for 10 years. And the women, the people that I had working for me, I still made sure that I got on the phone, and I still would have conversations with the customers for that reason, because I wanted to know, you know, gauge how are we doing, you know, how are we doing with everything. And listening tells you a lot.
I'm sure. Well, listen, sometimes that's a hard lesson for many of us to get. But what and how do you do this training? Is it via Zoom or some other live streaming medium that you're using? How do
We
you do
use
it?
Zoom, yeah, Zoom and Skype. Sometimes we go to their house in person.
Ah, so you travel because you have
Yes,
people scattered all about.
I
Ah,
know. But I have time. I like to travel, and I like to, even if we do the training on, I still like to eventually make it a point to visit their house or their location and see how they're doing, and maybe just help them if they need to rearrange a few things to make the operating system really sleek and easier. Most of the women like the training initially online because they're in a hurry to get started.
everybody's in a hurry these days.
So, yeah, they want to make money like now. We want it now.
Busy, 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 busy. I mean, that's engaged, active. It's just there. Technology was supposed to slow us down, and I think it's doing the opposite. But your last comment and remark there leads me to something that's really vital, important for me at this stage in life, and I feel that it is for you too. And the relationship that you're building with these women and men, a few, but women predominantly who are coming to you, how important is building a good, healthy, hearty relationship with the people that you're working with, staying in contact with them, not only business, but personal. How does that rate with you, the importance of relationships?
Right. I mean, especially in the beginning, they really lean on you
Yeah, I
for
would think.
everything. And then eventually they're kind of like how your kids kind of fly the nest, like they're on their own, and they're, I mean, not that they have to be on their own, they just know what they're doing after a while, like a few months, and I'll call them and they're just like flying with what they're doing. They don't really need the hands-on help anymore. It's more advice. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? Like I talked to one of the licensees, and she's at the point where she had a little shop and now she wants to get a bigger place.
How rewarding. How rewarding is that for you? Because it puts
Yes.
the cap on you doing things the right way and inspiring and enlightening women who are doing this, especially if they want to enlarge. That's always a good sign. That's always
Yes.
a good sign. Now, you know,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about how you, like, one of the things I know you want to do, and I'm going to put your phone number and your email up for people to take a snapshot of that, those who are here now and who will come for the replay, because what are you going to offer the women out there who might be considering a business like this and get more detail and more information one-on-one with you? How,
Right.
how do you want to present that to them? You want them to call you or to email you, and then you're going to do what with them? Speak to that a little bit.
Okay. They can email or call, and I will personally have a conversation with them. We can tailor the business somewhat depending on what their circumstances are, where they're living. We have women that are in apartments, some are in houses, some want to start a shop somewhere. So they're in all different types of circumstances in their life. And it's just a matter of really listening to what they want and having the program work for them. So that's the first step, is to just have a conversation and find out what their goals are, and then see how we can make this program work or not work, depending on we want it to be a good fit both ways. So
Absolutely. Well, that fit is everything, and I will make sure that your email, your phone number goes up. Now, let's segue a little bit, because I know you and know you fairly well, and you're doing something that I love to do. Was never good at it. So we're going to segue away and come back. But you are a former, which was a hobby, but you love ballroom dancing. Now, how
yes,
did you get into that? How did you fall in love with that? It's such a beautiful, graceful,
it
loving
is.
dance. Yes.
Yes, and I just had a lesson today, actually. I'm,
Yay.
I'm going to start competing in January.
Bravo.
It was, I almost was in tears at my lesson, happy tears, because I'm working with a couple, a husband and wife. She's Russian and he's Italian, and they've been professional competitive dancers for many, many years. And I'm just in awe of the level of dancing, and just to be in their arms. And dancing is the next thing to flying for me. It really feels like I'm flying when I'm doing it, and the music's playing, and I love music, so it just works. It just
I wanted to bring that up for several reasons, because I think ballroom dancing is a very involved, active, engaging type of activity. And when
yes,
you do it, there is focus and determination and perseverance, because you want to excel at it, and the continuation of staying with it, which aligns itself somewhat with starting and initiating the business that you're doing. It's a different
right.
type of engagement, but yet I think one complements the other. There's
Yes,
a connection there somehow, and I
yes.
think it's fantastic. I didn't know that you were into the competing. Good for you, bravo.
I'm just starting with the competing. I've done a lot of performing in nursing homes and private parties and things like that over the years.
Hmm.
And now I'm going to give it a try to get myself in top physical shape, because as I'm getting older, I'm in my 50s now, and parts are getting flabby. Exactly.
So good when you're active like that, to keep your body toned and all of that. And to get back to one other thing that I wanted to speak to here, that you a motivated designer, and you develop many products for retail and the communications industry. Can you share a little bit with us about that, and what that means for you in the business that you're doing now, or how it connects or relates or does not? Tell us a little bit about that, because I'm fascinated by that, because it's very innovative, and it really is a female trailblazer if you're doing
Yes.
developing new products for retail and communication industries. And I also see here that you're also doing overseas type of engagement work. So tell us something
Right.
about
Right. My other business has to do with electronics in audio and video, and this ties into my background, which is music. So I work with corporate clients who want to do business promotions and put talking devices in their promotional boxes or greeting cards. And today I was just working on a product for retail. It's going to make any greeting card recordable. You can add a message to any greeting card, and eventually we'll be able to add a video to any greeting card as well. Video is the latest technology in the greeting card industry, and we're doing a lot of video type products, whether they're boxes or mailers, anything like that.
Well, that's definitely the wave of the future. In fact, it's really here, and how you're going to implement that is going to be, I'm sure, beyond interesting, because
Yes,
it's in the future. It's now,
you
and
can put your videos from your presentations and your show
who
in the
knows? Who
product.
knows?
Amazing.
I listen, Kelly. I am so blessed. I meet the most phenomenal, fantastic, absolutely beyond women in the universe. I really do, and I'm honored and delighted that you're here to share this time and space with us. And you have so much more to share. But I'm going to put up now, in case if somebody wants to take a snapshot of the number. They can call you or they can
Yes.
email you. I'll let both ring through, and then they'll be able to contact you and have a dialogue with you about the possibilities of initiating their own business. But before we say
Absolutely.
so long for now, Kelli, is there anything you want to leave us with, like something you want to, a book or a video or a movie or anything at all that will excite and entertain us? Happy that you're here and sharing all this with us, but what would you like to leave us with before we say so long for
Well,
now? Never say goodbye.
this is a quote that I have on my desk. It says, "Leap and the net will appear."
I remember seeing that some time ago, and I'm going to copy that from you because I love that. Isn't that so true? You know what?
Yes.
I'm, for me, at this wonderful stage in my life, I'm finding that to be very much true. The fear factor that we all have when we're young and we bravo about it, not to have it, but it's there. After a while, you just have to throw it away and just,
Right, because we can wait. We want to wait until we have it all together, until we have all the knowledge, until our life is totally aligned with our circumstances, that we are in the perfect place to do this now, and that never happens.
it
There's
never happens.
some kind of obstacle.
Yes,
And usually, when we say we want to create something amazing in our lives, whether it be starting a business or buying a new house or moving, that's usually when the obstacles show up. As soon as we say that we want to create something else, there are the obstacles, right?
I'm only chuckling because it's so true. It's so true. My love, I tell you, I'm absolutely blown away again. I'm redundant for a reason. The wonderful, phenomenal, fantastic women that I've met that you are in that grouping. I thank you for the time and the attention and all the information that you shared with us. And I'm going to ask you to step to the green room and staging room, whatever, and say so long for now. And I'll be with you in a second or two while I say goodbye to the audience. Thank you. Thank
Sounds
you.
great. Thank you so much, Joy. It was a pleasure.
Indeed, all mine. What can I say? Woohoo!
Bye, everyone.
Oh, I forgot. Too quick. I'm so speedy with my mouse and everything. But she said, bye, everyone. Isn't she delightful? Wonderful. Whether you want to start a Photoshop bake shop business or not, or you're interested in gathering information and you have some question marks about a lot of stuff, Kelli is delightful and wonderful and easy to talk to. And she mentioned listen. She listens and she'll respond back accordingly. So whatever you do, I ran across her name, website, Gmail, and her phone number. So please make sure that you contact her at some point in time because you won't regret it. Even just to be a part or one of her friends on her Facebook page, however it works out, relationships are everything. And back to relationships. If you want to know what your communication style is and you're interested in knowing more about how you communicate and how other people communicate, just type key, and then what we'll do is give you a personality quiz so you can find out your style and get an inkling of the others, and then we go from there. It's always good to be with you. One of the things that we do here is we really work to introduce you to women who will inspire, motivate, enlighten you so that you can be about your calling, your purpose, your mission. They have so many names, all the same, your work here on the planet, here and now. That is the main intention for what we do here every Wednesday night at 7. I'm Joy Ruffin, your host, and I can't be with you again next week, same time, same station. Thanks for being here. Always good to see you. Until the next time, take care of you first and do the best that you can. See you soon next week. So long for now. Cheers.